Thank you. Christ Universal Temple Ensemble. Temple musicians. Conducted by Mr. Martin Woods. And directed by Mr. Monte Filon. How are you this morning? That's great. That's fantastic. It's good to see you. I'm doing great. Wherever that came from, I'm fantastic. Life treats me well. I don't have anything to complain about. I could complain, but I'd have to make something up. So I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape, Nate. Just before I get into the lesson, just a couple quick things. I do agree with Chester that Martin and Monte are fantastic, but I think he thinks he's slick. Right? He's gonna try. You know how they say you can get more flies with honey? I think he just tried to spread a little honey on me. And at the same time, just lay down the gauntlet. I just told him last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? If he comes up here and sings a song, I take that as a personal challenge. I take it as a challenge. And I might clap my hands while he tells me to clap my hands, but that does not mean that I don't take that as a challenge. And so now, no, I'm just kidding. But I just want to put him on notice that I know what he's up to. I know what he's up to. I see him. I heard him when he pulled up. But I am hearing some fantastic things about our men as we're preparing to present to you on next week. And men, I just want to say, just before I get started, that you are important to this ministry. I want you to know that. And I believe you know it. I know you know it. I've heard Reverend Coleman say it. I remember I was looking at a video not long ago, and she brought the men down. Those we were up in this piece, if I can use that vernacular. But we honor you, respect you, we love you, and we're glad that you're a part of what God is doing right here and right now. For the next about 8 weeks, for May and June, we'll be working from this text, Spiritual Economics. And Spiritual Economics is a book about abundance and prosperity that was written by Eric Butterworth. Eric Butterworth was one of the more prolific writers within the Unity movement. But he says something that's very important in the introduction, and I want to really begin right there as we prepare to enter into this consciousness building process, not only in support of the GF3 campaign, but as I said a couple weeks ago, it would be a travesty, it would be a real travesty if at the end of 3 years, this beautiful church that we love so dearly and that we commit our finances, our time, our resources, our efforts, our talents to, it would be a travesty if the church were better off and you were not, right? That is not the mode or the move of a Christ Universal Temple. The mode and move of Christ Universal Temple is not for the church to get better, but for the people to get better. If the people get better, then the church can't help but get better, because the truth of the matter is the people are the church. You don't need a church without the people. You can have a church without a building, but you can't have church without some people. And even if you're having church in your own soul, that can be church to you. Am I right about it? And so it's important to me, and it's important to the work of this ministry, that at the end of this campaign, and as we are progressing and processing through this campaign that you are infinitely equipped to be better then than you are right now. And just so that we're clear, you don't have to wait for 3 years to get better. You don't have to wait. God is as instant as you are. But what I want to make sure that I do is support you in the building of consciousness as we continue to be about the Father's work. Are you all right with that? So I want to start right here, and let's just go ahead right to your bulletin, because the first point on your bulletin as we take it together says what? Prosperity is a way of living and thinking, and not just money or things. So there's a common misconception, there is a common error that when you begin to talk about prosperity, you are only talking about the attainment or the acquisition of money and things. But let us be clear, and let me state it for the record, that prosperity is so much more than money and things. The truth of the matter is that all that prosperity is cannot be limited to money and things. Prosperity, when it's rightly understood, is enough education. Prosperity, when it's rightly understood, is enough opportunity. Prosperity, when we understand what real prosperity is peace in every form. I submit to you that the people in Baltimore have been praying prayers of prosperity. And they're not hoping that more money will come. They're hoping for peace in their communities. And the prayer for peace is a prayer for prosperity. When you understand the Latin root of prosperity, it simply means to hope for. So when you are praying and when we're talking and teaching about prosperity, there's not, now don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong with money. Money is a good thing. You ought to get some. Yeah? And we do know that whoever your utility providers are, whoever holds the note on your car, whoever holds the note on your mortgage, whoever holds or prints your check at the end of the week or the end of the month, whoever sends you your dividends, we do know that money is a good thing. And we want to make sure that when it's ours to get, we get it, yes? So I don't know if I should use this word. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong with money. As a matter of fact, we want to open ourselves to a flow of increase in the form of money substance. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. But money or prosperity cannot be limited to money. Let me just take you to the introduction of the text on, our books may be different, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it because our books may be different. On page 12 in the introduction, Butterworth writes that the belief is all too common that financial limitation is simply a quirk of bad luck or the result of a capricious will of God. So ordinary people may hope for better things, and they may even try to change their luck by playing the lottery. I'm going to pause right there. And you can insert whatever whatever your neighbor's quick fix is, because there is no substitution for the consciousness that facilitates the inflow. Now, if your consciousness is open and receptive to winning the lottery, by all means, you have to be in it to win it. But understand that substance as the omnipresent availability of God can come to you whether you double or triple or box or single or pick 5 numbers or pick 6 numbers. I see the commercial, so I know. I've seen the commercial. I remember the commercial with Bernie Mac in it. I've seen the commercial. How you know so much about the lottery? You got all the details about the lottery. Let me go back to the book. So we may also fantasize about happy and abundant living, but we make little or no attempt to be other than what we believe ourselves to be, and that is limited by the conditions, situations, and circumstances that we presently find ourselves in. So as we begin to embark upon this journey of understanding the basics of substance and the basics of prosperity as it relates to principle, there are some fundamental elements that we must understand. The first is, what is prosperity? Prosperity, as I said, from the Latin, is the hope for that which is desired. Prosperity is also wellness and happiness. Prosperity is wellness and happiness. You can have all of the money in the world, but if your body is broken down to the place where it won't let you experience the fruits of your labor, then your prosperity is limited, yes? You can have all the money in the world, but if nobody can stand to be around you for more than 30 seconds, then there's nobody around to spend that money with. And I give it to you, money will spend real good all by itself. But there's something to be said about being able to have dinner with the woman of your dreams. There's something to be said about being able to go out on the cruise boat and do the things that you want to do with the people that you want to do it with. Prosperity is an abundance of healthy relationships. Prosperity is an abundance of health in your body. Prosperity is peace of mind. It's one thing to have money. It's enough to know how to have the good sense to make sure that if you were ever broke before and you get yourself some money, you'll never be broke again. Prosperity is not just money. Prosperity is not just things. There's nothing wrong with money or things, but there is more to God than the thing that God helps you to get. Prosperity is wellness. Prosperity is happiness. Prosperity is a consciousness of wholeness. Are you with me? Prosperity, put another way, is having what you want when you want it. Prosperity is having what you want when you want it. And it doesn't matter what you want, just so long as you can get it when you want it. For some of us, it's a Big Mac. Yeah. For some of us, it's a steak. For some of us, it's the right person to spend our time with. Amen. You better open yourself up to prosperity. For some of us, it's the wrong people moving out of our space. Am I right about it? So prosperity is the gaining of favorable or helpful things, situations, conditions, and circumstances. Prosperity is that which can and should be enjoyed in our life, world, and affairs, and abundantly so. Butterworth says, to get the most from this study, you'll want to do two things. Put this in your note. Declare your independence from the belief that your personal welfare is completely tied to economic fluctuations of the world. He said, declare yourself completely independent from the belief that your welfare is tied to what's going on in the economy. When we begin to talk about substance, what I want to help you to be able to see that it does not matter what the market is doing. What matters is what your mind is doing. If your mind is limited by the appearance, then your situation has to begin to follow. But if your mind can open up to move beyond the limitations and the borders of what's happening out there, then you can begin to create new experiences even in the midst of financial turmoil in the quote-unquote world. You do understand that God is not limited by the economics of your particular situation. God is only limited by the consciousness that you present God with. So we want to do two things. To get the most from this study, you want to declare yourself. How do you declare yourself? How do you make a declaration? You can make a declaration a couple ways. You can do it with your mind, or you can do it with your mouth, or you can do it with both. You can, at this very moment, as a matter of fact, let's say it with me. I declare myself to be free from the limitations of the economic situations. Now, Jesus said it this way, be it done unto you as you believe. So now, if you can accept for yourself that God moves beyond the realm of what the market is saying, you can open yourself up to a new belief, because God can move if your mind is open. Get your mind ready to receive the good that's available for you. And watch this. God does not have to go and create something. It already is. The challenge is that it can't get through because the door of your soul might be closed. You do realize that there are people with no job who got plenty money. Yeah? You do recognize that there are more than enough people in this community alone to fill up every church in the city. You do recognize that your customer base is not limited unless you begin to put limits on what your customer can experience. But if you open yourself up to provide value to your customer, then your customer will find you. Yes? We have to get our minds prepared to receive. And we're not just talking about things. I want you to get your mind ready to receive your health if you need prosperity in the form of healing or health. Get your mind ready to receive. It's your mind that is limiting you. It's not your supervisor. It's not your spouse. It's not the people that you had to provide care for. It's your mind that is limiting you. Get your thinking right, get your feeling right, and then watch your situation begin to craft itself anew. We're doing two things. We're declaring our independence from the belief that our personal welfare is completely tied to economic fluctuations in the world. And two, we are establishing in ourselves the unsaleable conviction that the free flow of substance can only be dammed up within, and that nobody can keep your good from you but you. So we are accepting this realization that the free flow of God's substance is moving right here and right now all around you. Your good is pulsating, vibrating, wanting to get into your pockets, wanting to get into your body, wanting to get into your home, wanting to get into your relationships, wanting to get into your business, and nobody is keeping your good from you, because even on their best day, they can't keep your good from you. It doesn't matter what they think about you, they can't keep your good from you. It doesn't matter what they say about you, the key is that they not be able to keep your good from you. The doctor can give you his diagnosis or her diagnosis, but I'm telling you that God is a healer in your body right here and right now. The corners can try to claim my children, but I'm telling you that God is in the transformation business, and when your child sees that they do not have to go that way, they can go home a different way. It's here for you right here and right now, and the only thing that'll keep it from you is believing that you're limited and then keeping the door closed to the infinite flow of God's good for you. Prosperity is your birthright. Prosperity is your birthright. Prosperity is your birthright. The good that you desire in every form is your birthright. Now, sometimes you do recognize that you have to let some stuff go in order for your new stuff to flow. Oftentimes, when we encounter experiences like this, we attempt to put new wine into old wineskins. And check it now, the lesson is not new. The information is not new. You've been hearing this for almost 60 years. So if the information is not new, and if you've heard it before, and if you are not experiencing it at the level, watch this now, consistent with the God that you are, don't tell me about how you experience it at the level of who you are. Tell me how you experience it at the level of what you are. Because for Derrick, there are limitations, but for God, there are none. And so I have an opportunity to decide which one of us is going to open the floodgate so that the abundance of God can flow in. You with me? Let's take the second point from our bulletin. The whole of God's substance is present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. That is good news. The whole of God's substance is present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. Here is what that really means to you and I. This is what it means. Are you ready? Do you have your pen at the ready? Are you ready? You ready to go? You ready to get it? Here is what it really means. It means that God does not favor Oprah over you. It means that God is not more partial to Bill Gates than to you. It means that God does not see Warren Buffett as more deserving than you. It means that everything that you need, you can access and use to create this new experience just like other folk do. There is nothing wrong with you. I like that right there. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Tell your neighbor, there's nothing wrong with me. Tell one on the other side, there's nothing wrong with me. See, now stop talking. Because oftentimes what we do is we begin to work from a faulty premise. If you begin your problem from a faulty premise, then you can rest assured that you will come up with the wrong answer. But when you begin your promise, when you begin with a good premise, you can find the good answer. What you have to recognize is that there is nothing wrong with you. I don't care what your mama said about you. There's nothing wrong with you. Listen, I know your teacher thought you were slow. They thought I was slow too. Not slow like not mentally sharp, just slow like in he too good looking to be that smart. That's a true story. That's a true story. I wore my glasses one time when I was in my residency. And all of my classmates looked at me and, now we understand why you in the class. So what, the glasses made a difference? I was smarter than all of y'all before I showed up. but don't tell my classmates I said that. Now I like them. We've got 8 months together. We got 8 more months together. I don't want to fight with those folks. But here we are. If you begin with an erroneous premise, you'll have a wrong answer. There is nothing wrong with you. Yes, you have made mistakes. Get your eraser out. Yes, you're a good person, but you're a bad judge of character. Get your eraser out. Yes, you've done some things for which you need to apologize. Go ahead and apologize. Get your eraser out and keep it moving. What we need to understand is that the fact that we have made mistakes, for every mistake, for every failure, there is an equivalent seed for success, according to Norman Vincent Peale. What you have to do is get over your failure and find the seed for your success. And what I'm telling you right now is that the seed of your success is understanding the blessing in the failure and then moving on to your success. The challenge for many of us is because we think something is wrong with us, we think we deserve to be broke. We think we deserve to be out of doors. We think we deserve to be treated unkindly or improperly by people who are in our space. Nobody should be able to share your space and share your air who does not know how to treat you in any situation, condition, or circumstance. Who in the world needs friends who don't know how to be friends? And check it, now check it. I'm still talking about prosperity and substance, because you do recognize that you only use your mind energy to shape mental substance. When people come into your life, they show up as Joe, but you could just as easily take their name off of them and call them divine substance. When situations show up in your life, world, and affairs, you could just as easily take the label off of it and call it divine substance. When it comes to you, it's because you have used your mental acuity to shape divine substance. Now, what is substance? Substance is the fulfillment of God, or it is God filling up full your every desire. What is substance? Substance is God as an all-providing power that is limitless, unfailing, and inexhaustible. What does that mean? That means that every time you begin to think a thought, there is a modicum of substance there to meet the demand of your thought. Good Lord, you should write that down and you should put it in your phone and you should do everything that you need to do with that, because I just gave you the key to your freedom. I just gave it to you. I just gave it to you. I just gave it to you. When you think about your business, what kind of thoughts do you think? I was talking with one of my colleagues not long ago, and we were talking about how the first quarter of the year had impacted our ministries. And my colleague said, man, that winter was hard on us. And I said, yeah, and we felt it too. And my colleague said, but you got all them rich folks. Now, the first thing I said is, I received that. The second thing I said is, they didn't all show up like that. The third thing I said is, you need to start teaching people how to be prosperous. Folks don't just roll out of the bed, showing up, knowing how to do what needs to be done. Everybody does not know that they have power within them to shape invisible substance into what they want. Tell the truth, you weren't rich when you got here. You were in spirit, you were rich in spirit. That's about it. I know some of y'all had it going on, and you probably got it once you got here, you probably got it going on earth. Right? I'm really trying to say had it going on more, but I needed a real fly way to say it, Judge. I couldn't just say, like, I guess I'm kind of complex. I couldn't just say you got it going on more. Somebody's supposed to be praying. Right? But when you get this kind of teaching under your belt, it helps you become what you are to be. God's substance underlines or stands under all outward manifestations. Let's take our last point. Claim your inheritance of abundance. Together from the bulletin. Claim your inheritance of abundance. You are entitled to the support of God's substance in everything to which you give your mind and your hands. Now, that is a mouthful. But you can claim, not only can you claim, you must, say must, you must claim your inheritance. You must claim the intentional expression of substance. Substance is passive. Reverend Coleman said it this way: substance is like a piece of cookie dough. You also have heard that substance is like clay. If you've ever worked with clay in your hands, then you recognize that the clay will form to whatever you put your hands to, and your hands are only working according to what's going on in your mind. Yes? So then, if the substance is passive but waiting for you and I to form it, then we must claim, or we must impress upon substance what it is we desire. Now, you claim substance, you claim your inheritance just like you claim your luggage. You claim your good the same way that you claim your luggage. Now, if you're like most people who travel, when your bag gets away from you, it comes back to you because it's got what on it? Talk to me. What does it have on it? It's got your name on it. It's got your name on it. Your luggage, your baggage has your name on it, yeah? Now watch this. Your name is also your what? Your name is also your nature. I'm getting excited now, because if it's got your name or your nature on it, then it's got to come back to you once you claim what is rightfully yours. So if it's got the nature of your consciousness on it, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to be successful. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get it together. If you have put your name and nature on it, then the universal impetus has to rise up to that which you have impressed in universal substance. So here is what you have to understand. You got to understand how it works. You got to stop accepting stuff just because it shows up. Yeah. I know, I see it, I know it showed up, and here's the thing, it's not the truth. Once it shows up in physical form, it's already on its way out. What are you doing to shape and form your new? You got to work with it. You have to claim it. You claim it through the use of the law. Tay, let's go, let's get out of here. You claim it through the use of the law, and every claim that you make must be in accordance with divine principle. Repeat after me. Every claim that I make must be in accordance with divine principle. When you make a claim, understand that first, God is omnipresent. So it's not like your claim is going to a desk where there is no agent. Ooh, that's good right there. When you go to make the claim, the agent to receive your claim is the omnipresent God. And God knows exactly how to give you what is yours, not only by right of consciousness, but also, Nathaniel, by the right of grace and mercy. Here is the truth of the matter. Some of us don't deserve to be as blessed as we are, but because God has grace and because God is merciful, we're better off than we deserve to be. Don't play with me. You know good and well that if it had not been for God's grace and mercy, you wouldn't be right here right now. But because God is good, you are better, you're prettier. You used to be so funny looking. But you say, stop, leave folks alone, right? Leave folks alone, leave folks alone. But you're better. You feel better. You think better. You act better. You react better. And it's because the omnipresent God is with you when you make your claim. How do you make your claim? You make your claim through the law by understanding who you are and whose you are. You can do some jacked up stuff, but at the end of the day, you're a spiritual being, and the spiritual being that you are is too big for the little bit of jacked up stuff that you do. When you make your claim, you have to claim your inheritance, and you make your claim by understanding that there is value and power in the way that you think. Stop thinking any old thing just because somebody whispers something in your ear. Everything that sounds good ain't good. You make your claim by understanding that you have to practice the presence of God. Spend some time in prayer, spend some time in meditation, and then shut your mind off so that you can hear from the Lord. The scripture says, my soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. And then once you have made your claim, once you have met with the omnipresent God, once you have realized that you are divine by nature, once you have aligned your thinking with the thoughts of God, once you have spent your time in prayer and meditation and listening to what thus said the Lord, now it's time for you to make your demonstration. It's time for you to have health from the crown of your head to the tip ends of your feet. It's time for your prosperity. It's time for your bank account to be overflowing with an abundance, so much so that you don't even have enough room to receive it. Like the widow, you're going to have to go and get some other jars and some other vessels to receive what God is ready to pour into your life. And then, you got to watch how you feel. You got to watch how you feel. If you don't feel like you deserve to be blessed, then you won't be blessed. You got to watch what you say. Scripture says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, but when I became a thinking being, I put away childish things. Then you have to watch how you act. When you are made in the image and likeness of God, you just can't act any old kind of way wherever you are. Understand who you are and what you represent so that people who want to bless you can bless you. And then you got to watch how you react. Just because something's happening out there doesn't mean it has to happen to you. And then even when it does happen to you, it's not what happens to you, it's what happens in you. You are always in control of your life, world, and affairs. Never give up your power. It doesn't matter what's happening anywhere. There are going to be wars and rumors of wars. There are going to be riots and unrest in the street. But I'm here to tell you that if you understand who you are and whose you are, you can speak peace in moments of turmoil. You can speak peace when your home is in chaos. You can speak peace and prosperity because it's yours by right of birth. God bless you.